Hi, welcome to another current event update. My name is Marco Quintana, pastor of Community Church of Devore. We have a scheduled summit this Friday with Donald Trump, President of the United States, and Vladimir Putin, President of Russia. It's going to be in Alaska, in the United States. These summits are very important. No one in the Biden administration for the last 4 years, especially the last 3 years since the war started, have ever met with any Russian diplomat or president or any envoy from Russia. No one has made an attempt. No one in Europe, no one in the United States. No one's even tried to make a ceasefire or a peace agreement work. So the Russian president and the American president are going to be in a summit in Elmdorf base in Alaska. This is an extraordinary location. It's a joint base near Anchorage, Alaska. Why there? Well, I believe there is a little bit of a gamemanship here. Trump is picking Alaska not by accident. It's literally a power flex. Trump is reminding Russia, this used to be Russia. Now it's the United States. Remember, it was sold to the United States in 1867 for $7.2 million. So it's a way to say, it's a bold move. It's a way to say, we're running the show. The United States is going to run the show. There are security concerns, and this is one of the reasons I believe they picked this base, is because it's a smaller, controllable city just outside of Anchorage. And there have been revelations that these two presidents are going to meet in this military base because of the security reasons. It turns out that that was a big factor in choosing the location. It is no secret that there have been people that have tried to kill Vladimir Putin and President Trump over the last few years. NATO doesn't have a lot of love for either one. Seems that the Ukrainian president has no love for either one. Quite a few people actually in NATO look at Donald Trump as some kind of leader. It turned out that all things considered, it's not just a security reason, but it's far easier, far more secure for both of the presidents to meet at a U.S. military base. In addition, there'll be 5 members from each country. The delegation will participate, 5 members from each nation, in the negotiations. The United States will have President Trump, J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, Scott Bessent, which is the Treasury Secretary, and a special envoy, Steve Witkoff. Keep that name in mind. At the end, we will discuss some things because he's also involved very heavily in the Middle East. The Kremlin is also going to bring 5 members on their envoy. It's going to be Sergei Lavrov, which is again a foreign minister, Yuri Ushakov, which is of course a diplomat. There's also going to be the defense minister Andrei Bulasov, finance minister Anton Sulanov to deal with Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, and of course Kirill Dmitriev, which is a special representative there. So regarding the agenda, it's going to be pretty obvious that the central issue is going to be the war in Ukraine and Russia. And of course, the broader objectives in dealing with peace, economic agreements, security, the Donbass region, of course, in the eastern part of Ukraine. There's going to be a lot of exchanges and regarding different views and how to come to a cooperation, a bilateral cooperation, including, of course, this has to deal with trade agreements. And no doubt the BRICS is going to come up in the conversation. Yushakov from Russia confirmed that Trump and Putin are going to deliver a short opening statement, then hold a joint press conference together, and then he says the duration of it could be quite a few hours. It depends how the discussion goes and depends how the delegation goes. Now, Trump on the meeting with Putin mentioned that he will know in the first 2 minutes whether or not a deal can be made. And it was interesting how they asked him the question in the interview, and they said, well, how would you know? And he says, I know because I make deals. And that's pretty true of Trump. He knows how to make deals, the art of the deal. He's written the book. And of course, he has revealed that this is going to be one of the meetings. There is going to be a second meeting, this time dealing with Zelensky and potentially some European leaders as well. This meeting with Putin, of course, in Alaska is a preliminary meeting and to try to discuss the big summit and hopefully the end of this terrible war that is affected so many people in Europe and Russia over the last 3 years. There's lots at stake here. In fact, Trump is willing to go further than any other president, I think. And even the fact that he's threatening a secondary boycott to countries that deal with Russia, that trade with Russia, aka China and India, which are, again, part of the BRICS nation. This is a big risk for the United States, for India, for Europe. Why? Because the relationship between India and Europe, India and the United States, especially the last few years where Modi has been close to the United States over the years, but now because of this trade disagreement and tariffs, he's warming up to China. And China's been really cozying up to India, and India is actually setting up a meeting for Modi to go to China. But why isn't Ukraine and EU and NATO, any of these countries invited to the summit? Zelensky said that there's not going to be any reason to meet and come up with any kind of agreement. So that's one of the reasons I'm not optimistic, is that Zelensky is not going to be there. Their constitution says that they cannot give away land, Crimea, the Donbass region. So Moscow and Washington are going to make a deal minus Kiev, which is really interesting. Trump is also not open to any territorial swaps either. So that means that whatever agreement they make, it's going to be very preliminary, if none at all, during the summit. However, Zelensky did announce that he won't agree to anything that Trump and Putin agree on Friday in Alaska. So there's lots of questions to be asked. Why the summit? Why the meeting? Is there anything going to be done? Are there going to be preliminary talks, especially since Kiev, Europe, NATO is not invited? Well, Zelensky says that they will not leave the Donbass region voluntarily. And so it's a question to ask about what's going to happen to Crimea. So there's recently been peace deals in the world, and Trump and the United States have been at the heart of them. You have the ceasefire and the peace agreement of Azerbaijan and Armenia, the Congo and Rwanda, Thailand and Cambodia. And of course, a few years back, especially in this first administration of Trump, it was the Abraham Accords. And of course, that's the one that's gathered most attention to Bible students and Bible prophecy students, because it involves countries in the Middle East, Muslim countries, as well as the Jews and Israel. So we will see tomorrow how this summit goes. We will see how it goes, because it's going to shape the alignment of nations. Where are nations going to go, especially India and China? The future of Ukraine, Russia, the future of NATO, the economy of Europe, the economy of Russia, the involvement, as we said, of China with Russia, as well as Iran, which has been decimated over the past months because of the war with Israel. And in the heart of it all is Israel. Remember the name Steve Witkoff? Yes, he is a special envoy, of course, for this summit. And he is very much involved in the deals, in the peace deals, in the making of these peace deals with Russia and Ukraine. He has flown to Moscow before. He has met with other Russian leaders and trying to figure out a way to do it. But you know what is at the heart of this? He's very much involved in the deal with Israel, Hamas, Gaza, and what's going on with Iran. And so keep an eye on this. I think this is part of the deal of pivoting not only from this deal, but to the Abraham Accords as well. So we will see how these dominoes affected. The dominoes are set in place. There's peace deals and ceasefires all across the world at this point, and they all leading to one thing, the big one, the Abraham Accords. And I believe these nations are going to be playing a role in how the Abraham Accords shape over the next few years. Peace, peace, but there is no peace, said Jeremiah, said the Apostle Paul. Jesus says there'll be wars and rumors of war. Are we seeing those things now? Is the call for peace just a temporary agreement before major wars take place in this world? Well, a major answer is going to come Friday. Thank you for watching. My name is Marco Quintana, pastor of Community Church of Devore. If you would like more information about our ministry, go to ccodtruth.org. You could also find us on Moriel TV on YouTube. You could also find us on Devore Truth on YouTube. And for more information, Bible studies, and prophecy updates and current events like you want the ones you're watching today, go to our YouTube channel, go to our Rumble channel, and you can find us again on Moriel TV and YouTube as well. And may the Lord bless you and keep you, and may you keep preaching Jesus until he comes.